and more concerned about how hard it's going to be to defeat Barack Obama. When 45 to 50% of the public, of voters, thinks he's doing a good job, we have an uphill battle. The latest mortgage bailout gimmick, a lot of people buy into that stuff. Oh, he's so compassionate and he cares about the little people and the people in trouble. No, they know, as I said yesterday, that too many people in this country are stupid or ignorant. Most of them ignorant. They don't want to know the truth. They don't have time to know the truth. The assault on religion. Another example. And then he tries to backpedal. And I just heard before I came up that, well, he's not going to require institutions to provide free contraception. He's going to require the insurance companies to put it in the package. How stupid are we?
Amen. The headline on CNN was he compromised.
That was not a compromise.
No,
It's a con job.
It was a con job. Thank you. I'm using that in my next meeting.
It's all yours.
It was a con job, and some people are going to believe it. I didn't intend to start with this rant. I really didn't. But it seemed so appropriate because of what we are up against. We're up against a public and an electorate that is easily conned. Y'all can quote me on that one. Therefore, you all are a big part of saving this country. And I'm not just saying that to make you feel good. It's all about educating the public. It's all about people having the facts. That's why we started Cain Connections. CainConnections.com. But we're still promoting solutions to problems. That's our focus. Because unfortunately, the negative attacks in the primary amongst candidates is having a negative impact on voter enthusiasm. In those 3 primary / caucuses that Rick Santorum won, turnout was down. Turnout was down in New Hampshire. This is what we are up against between now and convention and November. The reason I didn't want to cancel this meeting despite my loss of voice is because the respectable blogging community helps to educate people, and I mean that. You have become a very important component of getting people the right information. I don't care whether they believe Angel, whether they believe you, doesn't matter. Some people are trying to provide the facts and provide the truth. And as you know, there are some who provide garbage. You know that, and I know that. And some people are duped by that. So that's why it's critical. We started CainConnections.com because after I was slandered, to put it mildly, by the lamestream lapdog media, I was not going to be quiet because I still had people saying, we need your voice, we need your solutions, we need your message. So that's why we started Cain Connections, where we called it a solutions revolution. The first one, of course, that we are going to continue to highlight is
999.
It's a beautiful thing. Let me give you some exciting news. I met yesterday with some 3 gentlemen from Japan. They have a Japanese tea party,
Saw that.
and they have embraced 999. You see that?
I saw that on
written by
Twitter
Stacey?
today, yeah.
Yes. We also have an inquiry from Colombia. I haven't had a chance to meet with them yet. 999 goes global. And here's why. It's a philosophy. I'm giving you all this for the first time. So you got original stuff that I stayed up all afternoon and funk it up. Why is 999 so popular? Why is it going global? It's a philosophy. And the philosophy is, the more you broaden the tax base, the lower you can get the rate. That's the philosophy that a lot of people are missing. That's why, cab drivers, truck drivers, I'm walking on the streets in New York City and they're rolling down their windows, leaning out of cabs. Mr. Cain, keep 999 alive. In every city that I go to. Why? The average person instinctively get it. It's a lower base, which allows us to get the lowest rate possible. The establishment is going to fight it. The liberals are going to fight it. And this is why we are going to promote it with the people from the bottom up, from the ground up. We're going to do this with all of our solutions, but let's just talk about 999. We have a 999 adoption plan. We are approaching representatives and senators. Some of them came to us first, asking permission to adopt 999. So it is our plan to get as many people running for Congress before they get elected to adopt 999. And in doing so, step 1 is, all they have to say is they adopt the plan. We're going to mobilize our members, which we now have over 500,000 members that have already signed up for Cain Connections. The number shows 416,000, but we got some that aren't even on there. We got over 500,000 people. So we're going to be getting people in each district. Go to your representative. Remember that old saying? Politics is local. So when their representatives come to them and say, adopt 999, some of them are going to say, well, I need to study it. Well, the instructions is, go to the next person that they're running against. That's a cop-out. There's a 5-minute movie at Cain Connections that could explain it to a 5th grader. I'm serious. A 5th grader can understand it if you watch the movie. So we're going to do it from the bottom up and get them to adopt. Step 2 is the legislation is being written. Then we're going to send it to them and ask them to read it. I know that's a novel idea. To get them to read legislation, but we're going to ask them to read it. And then 3rd, ask them before Election Day to commit to voting for it or co-sponsoring it. That's the 999 adoption plan. We've got a plan for energy independence. We haven't put that one out there yet. I want to stay focused on this one. And here's why. We got energy. We've got sound money. Monetary inflation is the silent economic killer that most people don't even know about. We've got one for regulatory reform, hardcore regulatory reform. But we're going to bring those out later. The reason we're just going to focus on 999, our biggest domestic challenge is the economy. 999 would supercharge this economy. GDP last year, 1.7%, anemic. And now this administration is manipulating the unemployment figures. You don't have to believe me. Elaine Chao, former labor secretary, wrote an article that laid out the math. They simply stopped counting people who had given up, the underemployed, and if you take those out, you get down to 8.3%. If you put them back in, you get over 11%. And the other people that they took out were the people who had been unemployed for over a year. If you add them back in, it's over 15%. You all got to help spread that message, is what I'm saying. I've written about it, I talk about it. People need to know the truth, and that is the truth. This economy is not recovering, it's not getting better. It is creating a few jobs in spite of the administration, not because of the administration. And so our strategy will involve media. I'm going to be everywhere, in case you all haven't been watching TV. Media, bus tour. We're going to primarily target college campuses, because if we don't energize the youth vote, we lose in November. And because we've done a couple of campuses already, the response has been fantastic. I did a rally with Stephen Colbert at College of Charleston. And I mean, he's a showman, okay? He's a showman, he's a comedian. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is that tea?
Yes, sir.
Does it have honey in it?
Yes, sir.
Maybe even some women if you're lucky.
He's still on his training program. And so when we did the one at the College of Charleston, we drove up on the bus, 5,000 students turned out. They only have 12,000 on campus. 5,000 students came out. So when Colbert goes up on stage, and they gave him this big applause, I said, they came here to listen to Colbert. Then he introduced me. I got just as big of applause. And was able to interweave Washington is broken, and this country is broke, and it's going to fall on your back, and they got it. They get it. So we're going to focus on the college campuses and the congressional districts where representatives have adopted 999. The other thing that we're going to do, are we going to show a sample tonight, Michael?
I don't know if we're going to be able to get to work.
Okay. The other thing that we will be launching soon is, this wasn't my idea. Cain TV.
It wasn't.
My staff begged me to call it Cain TV.
Kicking and screaming, right?
Yes, they insisted. Cain TV will be periodic episodes of edgy TV to basically get people's attention and entertain them at the same time. It's not exactly as far out as Colbert and Jon Stewart. It's more of a conservative Cain version of humor and edginess. But we will be launching Cain TV that you can only see right now on the internet within the next several weeks. And we're very excited about it because of the first episode that we put together, and because of some technical problems, we won't be able to show you that first episode. Is it because of technical problems?
Yes.
Okay. So we won't show. We want to show it to you when it's ready, when it's right. So those are some of the things that we have going on in order to continue to pursue the mission. Defeat Barack Obama. I know I endorsed Newt Gingrich. I'll be happy to answer questions as to why. His economic growth and jobs plan is the only one that scraps the current tax code, just like 999. And if you take his proposal, ironically, it's 12.5 corporate, I don't know what his deductions are, 15.0 personal, and 0. So he got as close to 999 as anybody.
27.
Yeah, huh?
It's 27.
It's still 27. Thank you. But I also happen to believe that he would be a bold, fearless leader. That's why I finally came around to endorsing him. If Romney gets the nomination, we can still win if. It's just a different set of ifs. And the other message that I have been saying to people is, even if your favorite candidate in the primary does not win, get over it. Get over it. Because if we sit down and don't work for whoever the nominee is, we are voting for Obama. Obama is not only a socialist, and you heard it here first. I'm going to quote my friend Neil Boyce. He's a Marxist. And I know you're not supposed to talk like that, but I'm not a candidate. Say whatever the hell I want to say. Look at what he's doing. That's all you have to do. But remember, 45 to 50% of the people don't see it and they won't get it. And so that's our challenge. The mission is still to defeat Barack Obama. At this point, questions. Tell me your name. I met you.
Christine.
Christine, I met you. I met you.
I'm Sean. Nice to meet you. I'll just start off. I write for freeenterprise.com, and our readers are a lot of small businesses, business owners, things like that. The administration has been trying to poo-poo this whole idea of the economic uncertainty that's weighing on businesses, preventing them from investing and creating jobs and things like that. You've been traveling across the country for the last couple of years. I mean, you've also been a businessman. What has been your take? I mean, there's anecdotal evidence, which I think is really important, and we've also seen, I've got some, there's been some economists who have actually been measuring this. What is your take? What is what you saw on the campaign trail?
Yes.
What have you been, I mean, even recently, that, and what, I mean, not just the, I mean, uncertainty in general, but specific things that are weighing it down, and some of the ideas, maybe you could tie into, give us a little hint of your regulatory reform
Gotcha.
ideas.
First of all, the uncertainty that causes businesses to be tentative is for real. Not one business person has come up to me and say, oh, I really love this business environment. We don't know what the tax code's going to be. We don't know what the regulation's going to be. We don't know what they're going to do with the National Labor Relations Board next. We don't know the next company that they're going to target after Boeing. No, nobody, they don't know that. They are scared to death. You don't, the administration is trying to poo-poo it, but not the business people. Now, some businesses are still trying to grow in spite of all that. Why? They got a responsibility to try to make a profit. So they're very carefully, expanding a little bit, what I call around the edges. Well, I know if tax rates go up, I can still afford this position. That's how they are thinking. Well, I know if, since we're not trying to build in South Carolina, I can go ahead and ask some people in Ohio. This is how they're thinking. It has totally changed the way they make business decisions because of the uncertainty. The uncertainty is real. We don't know what the tax structure is going to be January 1st, 2013. I don't know anything that's any more uncertain than that.
So just real quick, we still want to give Mr. Cain time to get out there and talk to folks out there, so just a couple more questions. I know he's got a hard.
Yeah.
Gene Barradine from Brooklyn GOP Radio. Just a question about what Cain Connections will be doing to help down ballot candidates. They're saying that a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yep.
What is the strategy in general for down ballot candidates?
Real simple. If you adopt 999, I'm going to actively come to your district or come to your state and attend some events with you to help bring media attention, help get you support. Some of them will be a straight out endorsement. Some of them will not be. If they adopt 999 and I disagree with them on 5 of the other things, I can still help them. But they might be on a position on 5 other things that I cannot agree with. So endorsement depends upon how we line up on 8 out of 10 things. So that's how we're going to help people down ballot. And you raise a very good point. We got to get people excited about down ballot as well as who's at the top of the ticket. Because excitement at the top of the ticket alone is not going to do it.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm Drew Ashcraft, the American Conservator in Toledo, Ohio. How do you think the conservative movement in general could be more appealing to the youth? Because I know at least along our campus, it's a very liberal campus.
Yeah.
You come out and ask questions, they really don't have an answer. All they yell is Obama 2012. They really don't understand. They just don't.
The good news is a lot of the youth as well as a lot of the non-youth have voter's remorse. I hear it all the time. The best way to counteract the Obama euphoria from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, facts. Facts. Give them compelling facts. This has been my criticism. I was asked on Fox and Friends yesterday morning, well, what would you recommend to Newt Gingrich, Rick Santorum, or Mitt Romney? I said, I would tell all 3 of them exactly the same thing. Be specific about economic growth. Who the hell knows what a 59-point plan is? I even asked Mitt that during a debate. And he tried to slough it off. Be specific about that one issue. Facts. Secondly, get you a fact sheet on how unemployment is calculated. So we can, reveal the fact that this is a con that's going on by the administration. Facts. Give them the facts. The RNC puts out a fact sheet of information, but here's what I do. If I'm going to be on the radio or do one of my news nuggets, I got to tell y'all about the news nuggets. Y'all haven't heard about those yet. Is some of the facts are more compelling than others. You don't need but a few. The RNC puts out a smorgasbord of stuff. And what I try to do is pick out the most compelling ones, like what is the real unemployment rate if you add back in X, Y, and Z. They can't argue with it because it's true. Share those kind of facts. I still remind people that when Obamacare was signed, 54% of the American people did not want him to sign it. Have you heard that one? You got it now, and that's a good number. 54% of poll said, don't sign it, Mr. President, and he signed it anyway. That is a fact. Fact. Dodd-Frank has forced many small banks out of business. And now, 80% of all of the banking in the country is done by the big banks. And the administration is increasing its leverage over the big banks. It's a government takeover of the banking system, just like they wanted to take over the automobile industry by way of General Motors, just like the administration wanted to take over the healthcare industry. Fact. See what I mean? Yes, sir. Lay it out in terms of fact.
One more and then we gotta go.
Okay.
Mr. Cain, Jeff Reynolds from Portland, Oregon. I think you remember how much we love you in Oregon.
Thanks.
I got here a little bit late, so if you've answered this already, I apologize, but are you sure you're not getting back in?
I did not answer it, but I am sure I'm not getting back in. And let me tell you all why. Gutter politics and family first. No one saw the anguish on my wife's face when she couldn't turn on the TV and not have a rehash of the same lies. Because some people believe it. Spinning the lies over and over and over and over. They were lies over and over and over. It was very painful to my wife and my family. And so when I endorsed Newt Gingrich, I didn't ask for anything. He didn't offer anything. I'm about trying to make sure people stay excited and that we do what we can to get Obama out of the White House. Number one mission, get Obama defeated. Number two, pass 999. One more quick one, yeah. You all are good.
Patrick Reed from the Conservative Report.
Yes.
First of all, from a family of 9, we love your plans. We're up to 46 now.
Your exemption is going to be for that second 9.
I can tell you that we fully endorse your I'm sure that we're all very familiar with the what's called the battleground on religion. So I'd like you to comment about that. And also, what if a candidate endorses a fair tax or national sales tax straight out?
If they endorse the fair tax, which I'm very familiar with straight out, that's phase 2 of my economic growth and jobs plan. 999 is just a step to get us there because it's easier for people to understand 999 than going all the way to the fair tax. Secondly, the fair tax has been demagogued so much that it's difficult for a candidate to say, I'm going to support the fair tax. Jim DeMint almost lost his first Senate run because he could not defend the fair tax. He stopped talking about it. He backed off, and he ultimately won. Like I said, 999, somebody can watch that movie on Cain Connections twice, and you'll be, even a 5th grader would be able to explain it. So yes, I would have no problem if somebody endorsed the fair tax and they were running on the fair tax. I'd be 100% behind it.
Great.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shane, Angel, Kristen, if you guys could get up, and if people could